Blessed ones of the nations of the world. One more time, thus says your brother Dan Moses, or say our Sakodi of TRC, Ghana. Coming to you with the continuation of our exposés. Testimony in world is order. Expose part 174. This was to be part 173, what to do, but God intends us to give us more. So, Aquaba to part 173, verse 174 is going to be what to do. Humanity and the nations of the world. We were exposing that even in the death of Nana Kojo Addo, the tribalist and the coward secret killers, who for disrespect of the precious life of my family members in Ghana, have medically terrorized Nana Kojo Addo unimaginably 3 years after the loss of the precious life of his father, have ended his life and have decided to disrespect his dead body before the eyes of all. We are hearing that, and I'm making us understand that if you were at a funeral, you would never have understood why this medication, state-sponsored witch, came to take the microphone and was openly marketing, commercializing, selling the product to the mourners. Unimaginable. This is totally unacceptable, not just in Ghana, but on every nation of the world where mourners have ever been or are. Yet, because of the agenda to get one African killed by Joe Biden, 17 years. Nana Addo Akufo, hate crime, the new terrorist, 17 years. And yet, they continue and shall continue to fail. Say that they must continue to disregard the precious blood of my family members in Ghana and continue to manipulate some of the family members to further the covering up of the killing of our own family members in their political interest. That is totally unacceptable. We have heard about that we were being played as mourners at the funeral. There is no way we would have understood that what the woman was doing. It was carefully planned. The planning of the funeral, the funeral brochure, everything that went to the funeral, the tribalists, the government of Nigeria, foreign forces were in control behind the scene. And there were some of the family members that knew that they are giving their minds to fellow human beings to do such to the family, disrespecting the precious body of Nana Kojo Addo even after his unfortunate demise. Humanity and the nations of the world. According to the program, testimony, evil disorder. Let's see this in my hand. This very brand of water, bottled water. We saw this brand of water and no other brand of bottled water being distributed, being shared among the mourners, being used to serve the mourners at the funeral and during the burial program. We saw it. Now, what we would need to understand is, we might ask the question that why no other, there are several brands of bottled water in Ghana, why no other but this particular bottled water? This one, this very one. United Kingdom, Ghana, humanity and the nations of the world. You shall come to understand as we go on that it is all about the cover-up of the hate crime, the evils of this US undercover agent for which innocent family members of mine have been set up to aid the willful cover-up of the killing of our own people of Ghana and covering up the killing of our own family members. It was all about this undercover agent. This water and no other water because of that willful cover-up agenda. If we go to the cameras of the Kotoka International Airport in the month of May 2021, during my departure from Ghana to America, on that day, when the evil minds have sought to deny me my right to depart from the country, to board the Delta airline, you see this bottled water with me. You see it in the cameras. Huh? I had this at the time I was entering the airport. Ghana, I would not expose why this water and no other water was served at that funeral. I will expose that later, not today. But United Kingdom understand that my family has been exploited more than enough. We have been manipulated more than enough by these wicked tribalist minds. And they will never cease to disregard the precious blood of my people, my family members in Ghana, unless we as the members of the human race rise up to these haters and tribalists and declare to them that we know as members of the human race that racism is unacceptable. We don't accept it, and therefore we shall never come to accept their tribalism and their hate crimes. Humanity and the nations, we shall unlock the secret to the sharing of this water. We were being played at the funeral. We were being played. It was all about furthering the crime covering of this US undercover agent, exploiting my family. Blessed ones, Akufo to the program, testimony, new world, disorder. America and the nations of the world, United Nations, we know that the 21st 9/11 anniversary was held by Joe Biden. Okay. In America in the month of September. Okay. Noble people of America, humanity and the nations of the world, what we will never know, that the actual celebration of the 9/11 was in Ghana, and it was the funeral of my precious brother Nana Kojo Addo that was being used for total hate crime agenda by global states who have hijacked my families in Ghana and are manipulating some minds to further their hate crime. We know that not apartheid can be used to further hate crime against anybody. Not 9/11, not Auschwitz, not the killing of 6 million Jews can be used to perpetrate hate crimes. We don't accept that. Not the slavery and the human enslavement can be used. Therefore, we want to tell Nana Addo and Joe Biden, two evil old men of the world that are troubling humanity, that we are not stupid. They cannot forever continue their agenda, hate crime agenda, of killing innocent Ghanaians through cowardly secret killing under the guise of 9/11 hatred, which they have perpetrated for the past 17 years. Ghana, humanity, and the nation. Akufo to the program, testimony, new world disorder. I want to declare to my families in Ghana that God has been watching on to silence for many years how some of the family members had for years been colluding with Nana Addo Dankwa and the new terrorists to seek my destruction. And God has continued to let you know that this son of yours, this member of the family, is not killed. You can kill him. If you want, if you dare that, God will use the entire human race, the entire creation, the entire earth to avenge and to defend this African. Yet, we have still continued to avail ourselves to be manipulated. Why? Ghana, America, and the nations of the world. My brother, Nana Kojo Edu, if you are at the funeral, you had questions. He was being buried on the 9th of September, 2022. September 9th. Okay. In Ghana, funerals are generally held for 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That is known to every Ghanaian. However, if the one happens to be a Muslim, the one is immediately buried on the day of death. And on Friday, the noble people of Islam gather at the mosque and finalize the funeral. So the most will be 2 days. Very simple. They finish it and it is done. If you are an Adventist, you worship on Saturday. Usually, the funeral will be held on weekdays. Then, on Saturday, they gather in church for the Thanksgiving service. But if you are not a Seventh-day Adventist, you are not a Muslim, and you are a Christian, just like the Adventists are also Christians, the normal burial procedure protocol has been the 3 days. Usually in Ghana, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Ghana, let us make Joe Biden understand that hate crimes are crimes, and we don't accept one from him. Although he has engaged in hate crimes against the Ghanaian for 17 years under the guise of 9/11, with Barack Obama. 17 years of evil and of hatred under the guise of 9/11 to seek to kill this African. Now you take over the minds of family members to disrespect the life of an innocent family member whose life you have cut short. September 9th was chosen by the so-called planners of the funeral, and they also decided that September 10th there should be no activity. On the Saturday, we buried our brother on Friday. Everybody should depart. On Saturday, no activity. Sunday, come, we go to church service and we have the Thanksgiving service. Why? Because the Sunday was September 11th. We were being played at the funeral. Now, Ghana, let's get this understanding. Let's see the seriousness of the evil that was being pursued. At the expense of my life, this has been pursued for almost 17 years by this undercover agent, with records with the US government, knowing so well that hate crime that this undercover agent has been pursuing, trying to tie me to 9/11, that they might kill me for nothing wrong. They give it to my family to do that. Willing family members to do that. So, on the 11th of September, they chose only 2 days, September 11th and September 9th, 9/11, for the funeral of Nana Kojo Edu, to appease external forces in America, Joe Biden and the haters, at the expense of my life, at the disregard of the life of Nana Kojo Edu. Now listen. Now let's get to the seriousness. No matter whichever reason that they gave for choosing those 2 days, for the funeral and the burial of Nana Kojo Edu, let's see the insanity of that agenda. they might seek whatever reason they give to you. They shall also tell you that Nana Edubofo Jan, my father, the father of Nana Kojo Edu, with his elders, instituted a rule for Jema that funerals should be held once a month for all bereaved families, once a month, to cut down the expenses and the commuting of family members who might travel from all parts of Canada to the funeral. So once a month. So in once a month there will be several funerals in that town, and afterwards the next funeral shall be the next month. If your family member dies, he remains in the morgue until the funeral. Now, we know that Nana Edubofo, whom they claim instituted that rule, did not institute the rule after his death. Yes, he didn't institute it after his death because that was impossible. He instituted it, if he instituted it before his death. So, that rule which they claim he instituted, if it must apply to all, it must apply to him. So, if the argument of the organizers, the planners of the funeral hold water, no matter which nonsense they tell us, Nana Edubofo was medically terrorized and killed cowardly in secrecy on the 27th of September 2019. He was not buried in September. He was not buried in October. So September, October, November, December, January of 2020, February of 2020. That was when, after 5 months, that was when my father was buried. In a 3-day mourning. Okay. So let's assume that, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, that Nana Kojo Edu, his precious life was taken on the 23rd of August. And at that August, we could not bury him. So let's bury him in September, 1 month after his death, less than 1 month, 23rd August to the 9th of September. How many weeks? Under 3 weeks, right? Why the haste? Why the haste if not the pursuit of an agenda to disrespect his body by tying it to the funeral to 9/11, fooling the mourners? Why? Why? Okay. Nana Edubofo was kept in the fridge 5 months. So if it is not for that evil agenda being pursued, they could have chosen to bury Nana Kojo Edu in October. No, he was not buried. They don't want October. In November. No, they don't want in October. In December. No, they don't want January. They don't want the February as my father was buried. They don't want that. But it must be hastened to bury him according to 9/11, just because of the appeasing of the hate agenda by Joe Biden and Nana Akufo, for which Ghanaians have continued to be killed in the interest of this dangerous undercover agent. Family, I have to speak out this way, that you understand that God has cautioned the family enough, more than enough, that this son of his, he is not killed. He is in the family for a reason, to preserve and to protect our lives from being taken. God is using to watch your backs, the backs of the family members. For us, in these evil times as this, when family members are set up to get their own family members killed, family members are manipulated to cover up the killing of other fellow human beings. God has spoken enough. I love you, family, but I would not allow the blood of the members of our family to be disrespected by Nana Addo Akufo Addo, Joe Biden, and the haters in America, because America agrees, Ghana agrees, humanity and the nations of the world agree that all men are created equal. You can't kill people in pursuit of hate crime under the guise of 9/11, under the guise of slavery and human enslavement, under the guise of Russia-Ukraine war, under the guise of Syria war, under the guise of apartheid. You can't do that because it is a crime. For all men are created equal. Humanity and the nations of the world. We have just returned from the funeral. This is just the beginning. We shall begin to let Joe Biden know that he had 8 years to have learned some prudence from his deputy, the man whom he deputized, Obama, young enough to be his son. He learned not a single wisdom from him. God gave him 4 more years to learn from a man of his age mate, His Excellency Donald Trump. 4 years. Still, Joe Biden didn't learn a thing, but continued in the hate agenda that he initiated with Barack Obama and pursued for 8 years. And they are destroying their nation, destroying the entire human race, have destroyed my national currency, and want to blame it on Satan. They want to blame their evil pursuit on a dream, spirits. We shall end here and continue with what to do. But we are not moved. United Kingdom, be encouraged. Europe, Asia, Russia, Ukraine, India, China, America, Ghana, all of us, let's be encouraged, because we are not dying at the hands of the coward secret killers. Neither are we allowing them to take over our soul and lead us to damnation in hell. Therefore, as for me and as for you, you need to make a decision to spend eternity in glory with the maker of your soul. Christ Jesus is the maker of my soul. Whoever you have chosen is your own choice. That is up to you. But I have chosen Christ as my Lord. God bless you. And God bless my homeland, Ghana. Bye-bye. Let's receive what to do. Part 174.